Alright. We are back with another game in GNL Season 18. The Gym Newbie League, hosted by Warcraft Gym, the tourney for noobs and ordinary players to try and play in a competitive environment. And this series is a little bit special because it is my series. I played these games yesterday for team Moonjuice Moonshiners, which I didn't tell you yet, it's my team. I'm part of this team. We are drinking moonshine from the Elven Moonwells, and it is against Art of Warcraft AOW for Team Saul's Angels, and we are on Last Refuge, which is the mandatory opening map for week 1. Let's go. So because it is my game, I think I'm gonna take it a bit differently. I'm not gonna pretend like it's not me, cast it normally. I wanna focus a bit on my thought process because that's the unique perspective you have when it's your game. So the first game I am opening with classic human build, so Archmage first. Meanwhile, my opponent is going Farseer. I was informed ahead of time by my teammates. Especially, I want to shout out Solanum, who unfortunately has not been drafted for a game this week. I hope he gets a game next week. He is an orc player himself from Germany. He's been getting a lot better. He started around 300 MMR. He has climbed to 600 MMR now. And honestly, I think he's playing much better than his MMR. And I want to shout him out because he did completely by himself, unprompted, a lot of research into all the opponents, and particularly this opponent. So he told me that this guy plays Farseer Headhunter, so that's what I was counting on. So I'm doing an early green camp to try and get XP early, before the Farseer can come in and interrupt. But he actually did not do that. He decided to instead go for a green camp and steal it. Green camp on my side of the map. Now, if I remember correctly, I will be going for 3 farm tech. No early expand, because it's, in my opinion, too dangerous to try for an early expand, for a fast expand against Orc, if they're going Farseer, because their map presence will enable them to interrupt you, and it just makes the game a shambles. Although, in fact, yes, so I believe what happened in this game is I saw he's not coming, and I thought I might be able to get away with it. That's why I pulled Militia here, trying to clear the expo and take the camp. But it turned out to be a lucky break because the militia intercepted his army, and look at it, the Farseer is nearly dead. I almost got a surround on him there, which would have been devastating. Now he's able to retreat and heal up with salves, although he does not have a shop yet ready. So he will need to build the shop first before he can buy healing salves. So at this point I know that, okay, Expo is not happening. He does have Farseer. He does want to push across the map, he just didn't come in early. Let's abandon the expansion. It's not good against Orc anyway, so let's just go tier 2. As soon as I have lumber, I am a little bit short on lumber due to the militia pool. As soon as I have lumber, I will click tier 2, there we go, and then start producing riflemen. This is well played by my opponent, going for another creep camp. He's not scared despite the hard HP, tough HP situation. Okay, now with 5 footmen I can take the expo camp, and this should hopefully give me level 3. Okay. Did he find? That's not a healing salve. Something else. Yeah, healing the Farseer. Very nice for him. Goes for a shop. This is a tougher camp, but I think the Pharaoh Spirits will carry him. Meanwhile, yeah, okay, so I'm barely not level 3. So I was looking for this green camp, but he took it earlier. Now I'm going across the map. Do I see him? I don't actually, because there's a little hill here. But the rifleman, who is rallied to my hero, spots him taking the creep camp. I am able to pick up a grunt, and he TPs out, abandons the fight, which is, I think, a good decision by him. And but the grunt kill gives me level 3, which is huge. So now I can have level 2 elementals. Meanwhile, behind this, enemy has tier 2 already. I'm a bit behind because it was delayed. The initial plan was Expo. AOW is going for Beastry and Spirit Lodge. This surprised me because I was expecting Torrent play. Torrents would have forced me to go Griffins, but no Torrents is actually an advantage on me. This was unfortunate creep check here. Already 2 footmen down, another footman down. I decide to bail. 4th footman goes down. So yeah, bad damage. Now my opponent is in the lead in terms of population. Look, another book. His opponent is interesting. So we're around 250 MMR. But I've been playing since February. AOW has been playing for the past 5 seasons on Dub 3 Champs, but he doesn't really have a lot of games. It's a very small volume of games. This season he's only played 6 games so far. It's like a Warcraft 3 tourist. Nice level 2 on the Torrent Chieftain. So it seems to me like maybe there's some game knowledge there, but maybe not enough practice. I don't know, I don't want to make unfounded judgment calls. So at this point, I'm sort of just looking for him. I kind of want to fight him, because I think the level 3 hero gives me an advantage, and mounting up. Really, as human in this situation, until you have mounting king, you can't really fight. Also, you want Dispel, but especially the Mountain King. Once you have the Mountain King, you can start to pick off enemy units. Sort of randomly bump into each other, but the Endurance Aura gives extra move speed. Enables him to run away. He went back to Shockwave. It was a little bit greedy. With better execution, I could have gotten the surround there on him actually. Okay, but now this is more or less an equal fight, but nasty ensnare on the Mountain King. Managed to pull him back though. Now with better execution he could be just barely behind the front line and throwing storm bolts, but at least I get the troll. Very unfortunate that I didn't manage to snipe the Kodo. Kodo is huge. Now at this point, I am actually behind in supply and sticking on tier 2, although so is my opponent. Yeah, we are seeing Shaman, so the plan is to go Bloodlust. But I'm planning to go Dispel anyway, so it's not too bad for me. The supply situation is unfortunate, but I still have all my stuff in production. This was sloppy micro here on that creep camp. So 2 riflemen died, that's really bad. The militia should have focused better targets. But at least it does give me level 2 on the Mountain King. Well, this camp is not available, so my opponent moves to the Turtle camp, but where's the Tauren Chieftain? You want to creep the Tauren Chieftain and he's not there. Look at this, an early expo. Early tier 2 expo for the orc. I would love to expand myself, but I don't have the money for it. Had I not lost the 2 riflemen to this camp, I would have been on 50 supply now and maybe could think about pushing or expanding, but instead I feel the need to increase my army, so I don't want to get caught out. Look at this. AW is going for a red camp. Nicely pulls the ogre. Well played. Well played by him. And what did he get? Can't find the item. Okay, now I happen to stumble upon him. Okay, now the most important thing in this is to, well, not throw your heroes is a good one, although thankfully I did buy Invul. But really the important thing is to focus fire well from the rifleman and to have your finger ready on the dispels. This is unfortunate, the elementals aggroing the creeps instead of his units. Look how many units are low, including the Tauren, which is what forces him to retreat. On balance, this was a good fight for me. You can see finally back ahead in pop, and once again nearly got the Kodo as well, at least 2 headhunters. Kodo would have been huge because the Kodo ate a rifleman. But this was sort of a blessing in disguise, because if your unit is inside a Kodo's belly, it actually gives you vision. So the price for eating a unit is that you now have permanent vision on the enemy's army. Of course, you could pull the Kodo back and leave it there until it finishes indigestion, but he did not do that. So I actually could see at this point he's moving towards his expansion. Ideally, I would go in there immediately, but I did not feel confident at this point, and I wanted to buy items from shop. You can see I got Invul and Heal Scroll. Still don't see what item he looted from the Ogre Lord. Did he? Oh, it's the... Oh, yeah, okay, now I see. It's the Blades of Attack plus 12. I didn't notice they're plus 12, okay. Now... I wanted to go for his expo, but I saw him moving. Stormbolt on the Kodo. Decent so far. Army is in acceptable position. This was a nice thunderclap. Unfortunately, it's only level 1. Because I'm leveling the Stormbolt. I'm frankly not sure what should have priority, if Stormbolt or Thunderclap. I usually go for Stormbolt, because the burst value so high, but I actually ended up spending more mana on claps and unfortunately blundered the Mountain King there. Couldn't retreat him in time, but his units are low, whereas my army is healthy, so I could chase, but it's really hard to chase Orc with Tauren. So altogether we are on equal supply. He is mining though, which I don't think I know about. Yeah, I don't. Or like sort of know. Definitely should have known based on the army movement. I didn't confirm it, so maybe I forgot, or maybe I was hoping that he didn't do it yet. He is still tier 2 after all. Usually orcs expand on tier 3. That's the most common thing you see. But at least catching his army out like that meant he never went for the red, where he was clearly heading, which let me take it, and I got my own claws plus 12, which is really funny. Okay, now on the high ground, the camp not finished, and I retreat. I think this is a good decision. I think sticking around for these creeps would not be worth it. So I am happy about that. And the Mountain King is almost back. Oh yeah, these... not sure how this happened. These peasants were trying to build an expo, but aggroed the mercenary camp. This is normally not supposed to happen. If they're just walking past units, they're not supposed to aggro the creep camp. I don't know why they pathed so close. And unfortunately base doesn't go up because he happens to be in the area. All the peasants died. This was, at this point, I thought I might be screwed here. Because this was really unfortunate damage. He also steals my books. Okay. Focus fire on the raiders. Now, my casters were a little bit too far back, so I wasn't quite snappy enough with the dispels. Now finally it dispels the feral spirits. So far... Oh yeah, these guys focused fired something and they wandered off. This was also terrible. Look at this. 12 supply behind. And all the riflemen died. This looks terrible for me. But I do have level 3 water elementals, also known as the water torrents. These guys are goated. So maybe I can clutch this. Mountain King is level 4 as well, so he's getting tanky. He's getting real tanky. And AOW decides to retreat, scared of the water torrents. Another unit runs off with 10 HP. So frustrating. 9 HP. And resource mind is insane. Look at the banks here. 2,000 gold for the orc, 500 for me. But I do have tier 3, so Paladin on the way, and soon I will be able to start knight production. I'm making a second barracks for knights. And so I felt my HP was bad. I bought an extra priest from the mercenary camp. 51 supply, that's really unfortunate. Maybe the extra priest was not really worth it. So at this point, I definitely sniffed out he has an expansion, and I'm going there to cancel it, because if I don't have an expo, you don't get an expo either. And this is where the water torrent really shines. Deals good damage to the towers. Can stand in front. Now the important thing is to not blunder the Mountain King. So he should not be really in front like this. Wolves go bad, the wolves go forward, but this time Dispel is ready. Immediately dispelled. That was nice. Okay, try looking for some claps. Clap is level 2 now, so finally it's actually doing some real damage and not just tickling. Now, one problem for me in this fight is I don't have TP. None of the heroes are equipped to disengage. I get a sort of soft surround on him and he decides to TP, and I think this was a mistake. I think he could have slugged this out more, but instead he abandons the position and lets me destroy his expansion, which brings the game back down to manageable. Nice. This was a nice move by me. Recognizing this is a low economy situation in this game, I do not break 50 pop, because I want this gold to last me as long as possible. But right now, when he's above 50 and I'm below 50, for every minute that passes, I am gaining, what's the math again? 180 gold per minute on him, which is a caster and a bit, or 2/3 of a knight, roughly. It's marginal gains, but it adds up. Okay. Good intuition by him. Sniffs out the expo. I did buy DP from Goblin Shop while I was creeping this with MK and Paladin. AM ran here and bought the scroll. Sorry for not showing that. Okay, so now we are both with no cash. After what I said earlier, I did actually break 50 now for knights. But how much gold did I mine meanwhile? I mined almost 600 gold on no upkeep, so that means I did get that 180 extra gold on him. Alright, now this fight. Nice clap. I'm a bit heavy on the casters and light on the rifleman, which translates to lack of damage, but Stormbolt is really strong. And I force him to TP once again in order to not lose the Tauren Chieftain. And at this point, despite all the strategic mishaps for me, the game is sort of equal. We both have good hero levels. I frankly have better items, I think. And I have a third hero. So now I'm feeling a bit cocky, pushing in, honestly, but there's nothing better to do. I could maybe take his mercenary camp, maybe that would be a better thing to do. Okay, deny the shop. Shop is important. Okay, once again, dispels. Still does not have bloodlust, by the way. The low economy game sort of, I think, interrupted his build because he was never able to go tier 3. This is unfortunate army control. Now I realize that all of this should go forward so that it attacks actual useful targets, not his buildings. And now the power of tier 3 is starting to get an advantage because all of his army has just disappeared. Paladin able to add a little bit of sustain. Level 2. Oh, I went for aura actually. Interesting. Thought I would go for divine shield. The chieftain dies and there's nothing left except the Farseer. Taps out 1-0 for me. A really close game. Made me really happy. Let's go for game 2. Alright, let's go back for game 2 of the series, special series. This is my game representing Moonjuice Moonshiners against Art of Warcraft in the top left corner for Saul's Angels, and we are on Hammerfall, which is the loser's pick. Which means Art of War's map. Now, for the first time in all the games I've casted so far from this tourney, we see a change of build. And it's by me, because I decided to go for Pala Rifle. The thought process, I will admit, was not really deep. It was sort of vibe based. After the previous game was such a slugfest and felt really bad for me during multiple portions of that game. I felt kind of lucky to have won that, and honestly, a little bit. I did not want another macro game again. I wanted to go aggressive. And playing against Orc means Pala Rifle is a solid choice. Especially if my opponent goes the same build as he did last game, which of course was Bestiary plus Spirit Lodge, no Taurens, stuck on tier 2 for a long time. Those are good targets for riflemen. So that was my thinking. Now the disadvantage of Pala rifle is in the early game because you don't have summons. So creeping is a little bit harder. You need to look after it more. Also, you really need to execute the build order on point so that it all lines up nicely and the riflemen are on time and you don't get supply block, which I managed. I'm happy to say. I practiced the build orders ahead of the match. About 3 hours before the match, I went through all the build orders, and especially the power rifle, because I didn't play power rifle for a long time, but I wanted to have it in my bag of tricks. So that worked out. Just barely managed to finish the creep cam in time before the Farseer came. So this was good. Yeah, one peasant falls, but acceptable losses. Acceptable losses. Now, actually, ironically, the fact that I went for a completely closed base bites my ass here, because I would really want to retreat all the way back here, and I can't. But thankfully, he did not push the issue and decided to go back. I don't know if he didn't realize that I am actually blocked off from the inside of my own base, or he felt it wasn't worth it, but I think he could like kill a rifleman here if he just pushed forward with the wolves. Instead he takes a green camp on my side, which is a good choice, although the creep camps on Hammerfall are positioned kind of strangely, with two greens in the middle and then the other two greens sort of tucked away. Only one green is accessible. So at this point I am bothered by the fact that I am standing around doing nothing because of where the greens are. So I power pool militia and power creep the Makura cam in order to finally get level 2 on the Pally, and that works out because he decides to go for the Expo cam and steal the item, which I mean, not bad. Not bad. But yeah, that being able to take that Makura camp in peace really gave me a break, because now I'm more confident with the Paladin, and I happen to stumble upon him. Paladin is a little bit out of position, so takes unnecessary damage, which means now I need to be really careful to not blunder him. If I lost the Paladin, it would be game over for sure. But as long as I don't, I have good sustain, I have good damage, I have more supply than he is, and I feel confident at this point. I feel confident that I can fight him, because he does not have that many headhunters, and it frankly doesn't really matter what I shoot. I don't even need to get kills, as long as I deal damage. It's gonna waste his resources or scare him, make him less confident. This rifleman is in an unfortunate position. I do get the Holy Light, and now it's a bit of a juggling act here, trying to maybe get the creep camp, and, but also not let anything die. No, pull back when necessary. And behind this, oh yeah, tier 2 is done, so second hero is a bit late. I did not really manage to macro behind that fight properly, so that was a bit sloppy. Now, okay, there's a break in the fighting, so I go back, I get second hero, I get long rifles, and I get Sanctum as well for some healing. Healing and ideally Dispel, although I don't think I managed to get to Dispel. Okay, now I think I could pull Militia again in order to clear this. And that would give me level 3. I might be waiting for the Blood Mage as well. Goes back in. The disadvantage of his playstyle so far is that now he has map control, but there's not really anything to creep anymore. Like, all the creeps on my side got stolen already, or I took them. Let's see. Okay. I guess I feel like I don't even need Militia with the Blood Mage here. Which is true. The Paladin can heal everything up. Unfortunate stuns that he got. So once again, he's in a vulnerable position. Ideally, anything else other than the Paladin would take the damage here. Because now with level 2 Holy Light, Paladin can sustain anything. Okay, yeah, my opponent takes the last camp on my side. That is doable. I don't think he could take the red now. I don't think he has this army strength for that. Okay, now we are basically opposite each other. I think I am tentatively looking for an expansion. Also want to take the shop because I want to buy Invuln. I think I'm looking for Invuln rather than Guild Scroll. I don't actually remember. Okay, now crucial moment. At this point, I am pulling some militia, looking to build towers and shop in front of his base. And we sort of awkwardly run around this river. And one peasant got ensnared and left behind, and the other peasants happened to aggro this Kodo. It was really unfortunate. They're gonna die to that Kodo. But okay, the fight is consolidated. Reinforcements here get cut off, which is unfortunate. But it also distracts his army somewhat, so I'm able to trade up for a raider. It's still an okay fight, and as long as my holy lights are on point, this is actually favorable to me, I think. This is just really unfortunate. Now I finally notice that all the priests disappeared, and I try to build a shop somewhere. Now, it's unfortunate that the fight happened here, because ideally I would want it to happen a bit closer to his base. What it did succeed in is distracting him though, because look at the production tab. He's not macroing behind this. Whereas I am. You can see, constantly producing additional units which are rallied to my heroes, so I keep getting stronger and stronger while he doesn't. Fortunately, the shop aggroed the gold mine creeps, because creeps standing at a gold mine have artificially much larger pull range, aggro range than normal creeps. So they saw the shop, they really strongly felt about destroying that shop. No business in my area, no thank you. So now, even though I don't have peasants, I decide to push in and commit. I do have this spell, which is nice. Unfortunately, I blunder the Archmage here, I mean the Blood Mage, because Holy Light was on cooldown, because I had just healed the Rifleman before that. That was really unfortunate, because the Blood Mage would have packed a serious punch. But thankfully the Rifleman seemed to be enough. I was basically solely focused on microing my Paladin, making sure the Paladin does not get blundered. I'm standing him behind the Rifleman. And he goes forward with spells, but he actually runs out of mana now. And very, very nice item drop for me. Wand of Illusion comes in clutch to give me an extra bit of tank on the front line behind the Rifleman. And he's still not producing. And at this point, I'm feeling very good, because I just have so much more firepower, and my opponent agrees, because yeah, he taps out. No GG. Sad. Yeah, that was it. That was 2-0 victory for me. with a strategy switch into Pala Rifle that caught him off guard a bit. Definitely flustered. And yeah. 2-0 for my team, 4 points. GG's.